Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Brainwash to be Broke, the show where we expose all the lies, all the brainwashing pattern stories, everything what we've been taught since our young age and what is truly possible. Today, we are here with another amazing guest. Her name is Corinne Berry.
Corinne Berry.
Yeah, Corinne Berry. She is a resilience business coach and entrepreneur who helps high achieving women rebuild after setbacks and grow with more clarity, confidence, and momentum. So I'm super pumped to have her here. We will have about 60 minutes chat. We will dive into really interesting topics. Can you give us and share a little bit about you, who you are, and what is your fame to claim or claim to fame? Sorry.
Sure, sure, I can. I should have brought my hat with me actually, and that would really you. But, I so how far back do you want me to go? Because actually, I started as a sobriety coach, and then I went into mindset lifestyle coach, and your direction kind of just your path just kind of guides you, if you will. And then
Yeah.
I've been an entrepreneur since 1996 and very successful. They actually call me a serial entrepreneur because everything I get into is completely different industry. Um, and so somebody actually said, you really, as much resilience as you really walk and talk, you need to be a resilience business coach. So here I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. I believe that like lots of people probably would start right now with going deep into, what you do and like everything about like business or like the mindset stuff and so on. But I would love to start with a little bit of different, spot, I would say. And that would be what is the real true honest driving source for you for the all success that you've accomplished? Is it like, your belief to God? Is it like desire for freedom? Is it like, be able to provide for your family? Or what is it actually the true driving source for you?
I think the true driving force is I have really been through a lot and I had a great life. I can't complain about anything, but I've always had somebody to help and somebody to guide. And so I think my passion is to help other women succeed and let me help them as and serve them as much as I can.
Why is that?
I've worked with a lot of women, even through my companies, even when I was in corporate and that, and I've also helped a lot of women in sobriety. And it's when I see them transform and really change their lives for the better and for themselves, and they are so happy, it just really fulfills me, beyond uh, beyond what I can even say, and when they tell me, express those feelings of what they are feeling, it's so joyful. It's just amazing. It really is.
Wow.
And I watch it right in
Yeah.
front of my eyes. So it's great. Yeah. It's super.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. So you went through a lot in your life. How long did you say that you are in a business? Like how many years it is actually?
1996. I bought my first.
1996.
Yes.
So
And I
that's
was,
pretty
yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah, I was in a cardiac cath lab. I was working cardiac cath lab. I was director in Tampa, Florida. And then, yeah, so my cousin actually came over from England and she had to come over on an E2 visa and get a business. And she said, why don't you go in with? She had owned one in England. We bought an assisted living facility, ended up with three. So, yeah, I did. I just took a chance and it worked out beautifully. We had them for 10 years.
Interesting. Interesting. So what was the, first type of like breaking point for you that you've been even thinking about starting a business?
Well, my parents were real estate entrepreneurs. So it's always been, it's
Interesting. Okay.
basically bred in me. Because
Right.
even in high school, I did a little bit of entrepreneur work, and um, when I went to college and that, so I bought my first house at 24. And I had the best parents to guide me in those situations, and they taught us. They didn't just work themselves; they taught us along the way too. So it was a great lessons that I could hear my mom as a real estate agent too, like, I was young in the back of the car, and that's all I'm hearing: business, business, business. So it was pretty much bred in me. But I always wanted to work for myself because I definitely like the freedom. I
Uh-huh.
like very independent. I'm a Sagittarius, a true Sagittarius, and we love freedom and independence and adventure, really. So yeah,
Interesting.
it's,
Interesting. So basically your childhood was completely like a little it was already influenced by your parents because they've been in the business and so on. So you had pretty much in my would you say that you had different type of childhood than most of the people when it comes to, because of the influence of your parents, like how they actually led you to understand the world from like different perspective than just being like, this is the basically corporate ladder and you have to climb it because this is the only safest way basically to live our life.
I did. My parents are very adventurous too because at age 21 they married and came over, went to Canada, and they didn't have any money, zero. And they were successful in Canada for 5 years, came to Florida for vacation and stayed in Florida. But what I have always, what I have learned too is we don't teach our children in school, even in college, and that we should be teaching, our younger generations how to even manage money, all of that stuff, I think is a big thing. And a lot of families can't teach it. I just happen to be very fortunate that my parents could, and they wanted to help. And they made us work for it. Like when I bought my first car, they gave me the loan. I had to pay, I had to buy my first car, so they taught us valuable lessons for success in life. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's really interesting why they jump into real estate actually. Is it,
Well,
because of, yeah, yeah, go ahead, go
actually,
ahead, go
they
ahead.
didn't. When they came to
They did.
Florida, they bought a barn and a gas
Uh-huh.
station, which was together on a dirt road.
Right.
I could tell lots of stories about my parents. And later on, like, of course, that was way before I was born. And when I was born, they owned a child daycare center, but that was
Uh-huh.
to make a lot of money on child daycare center. They retired at age 45.
Wow,
Yes,
45.
for the first time.
That's
They
that's
couldn't stop
really
working.
cool.
I mean, my mom was still probably, she was still using an iPad in that 89. So yeah, she was,
Whoa, wow, wow. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
That's really powerful. Okay, that's really interesting. Because like you mentioned that you basically bought your first real estate in 14, you said?
No, 24, 24.
24, sorry. So
Mhm.
in 24, why did you go for real estate then?
Well, that's what I knew. That's what I was being taught. And I could see the success with that. And plus, I love real estate. I'm also a real estate agent, and I've been a real estate investor for a long time. But and I didn't even move into it, by the way. I rented it out. So
Interest. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's the really that's the big difference right there. Because most of the people they are literally buying houses to live inside of them, like, for them. But I would never ever do that, and especially on a loan, so I can pay it all my life pretty much or so if I would be working in a corporate job. Like that's insanity. Total insanity to me.
well, I didn't want to
You
leave
know.
home. And we had 10 acres. I had my horses there. They traveled. I
Right.
traveled. We became more friends at that point, right? So I didn't want to leave home. And then, of course, I did when I got married, but I already had a house. So, yeah, it taught me a lot.
Interesting.
So I learned very young,
Uh-huh.
to be successful multi ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
multi income streams.
Right. So they basically taught you since your young age already like how money works and how probably taxes and like loans works and this type of things, like the clear fundamentals basically of like how to live life pretty
Yeah,
much. For me it
absolutely.
is, right?
So,
So yeah,
when she
go
saw
ahead.
my paycheck after, because when I got out of college, I went right into the cardiac cath lab, which is unusual, but so I was making pretty good money at 22. And
Yeah.
she saw my paycheck, she took me right to the bank and got me an IRA, a Roth IRA. She said, I said, okay, and she taught me, this is what you need to do with your money. And so, yeah, it was so valuable. You don't really realize it at the time until later.
So how do you remember how did they explain it to you? So like people can understand actually like uh, you know how money works. Like for example, like how they explain it to you when you was so little. Because I believe that people like if you can explain something so clearly that a kid can understand it, then you really understand what is going on. Do you remember? Can you give us like a little like lesson based on how you would explain like money, how money works and so on in like in your like I don't know short form of understanding. Go ahead.
No, I think you have to respect money, and when you
Uh-huh.
respect money, you take care of money, and you when you invest a little bit, it grows. And when
Right.
it grows more. And the more you invest, the more it grows. And if you keep that in mind, even just a little bit of change per day, it adds up. And starting from the younger, the better. You have a lot.
Really cool. Really cool. Okay, so now we've been discussing a little bit of when it started for you and so on. So when you actually figured out that you want to become basically a resilience business coach, where that happened? Because like that's your real estate and having like this type of you've been agent, basically you've been doing you've been an agent, right, in at the beginning.
I
Real
still am.
estate agent, right?
Yeah, I'm still
Oh,
am.
you still are. Okay. So how you get into that? Like was that something that you've been so passionate about, or somebody like you found a way, or are you a believer? Do you believe in God,
Oh,
or how?
absolutely. I have a
Okay.
very, very great relationship with my higher power. I'm very spiritual. Absolutely. And
Okay, so
yes,
yeah, go
yes. So
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
know a lot of things is out of my control. I mean, especially the last couple of years, things have happened. I'm like, that is a God thing. That was not, nothing I had planned. And that's what's beautiful about believing and having faith. Yeah. But
So
sorry, your
yeah,
question.
go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. So my question was, how did you get into
Oh,
the resilience business coach?
so
Was yeah. Go ahead.
well, in 2017, actually, I got sober in 2017. And so it
Mm,
took a little bit, it was a big change in life, right? For the
mm-hmm.
best. Really.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of transformation going on, a lot of, emotions going on and things like that when you have been drinking for a long time and you
Yep.
make the choice to and be willing to make a change in your life. So I did not work for a couple of years. And I was fortunate and blessed not to have to. And so I took care of my sobriety. And that is actually when my spiritual level with and my relationship with my higher power really grew in 2017. And I was looking, I wanted to try something different. And so I got into the e-commerce world and I love it. And I still love it. I will tell you, I love e-commerce. And so I did the click funnels and the whole nine yards, read all his books. I can build funnels and land pages, everything. So I did that and I was very, very involved. Went through a couple programs and stuff. And I was going to start doing some YouTube as well. 'Cause I had a mountain biking e-commerce store. I was a big mountain biker. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very, very into sports and a lot of extreme sports. Um, so it was mountain biking, and I had a big, big group following in Instagram, and it was all about unity as well. So I always always like to have some mission to go, to vision and have goals for. So um, people kept anyway. So with that said, I was having an interview with a he had one of the programs that I was interested in for YouTube. And he happened to see a couple of girls behind me and he asked me if they were my daughters. And I said, no, they're not my. And then I just kept talking to him and he kept saying, well, what are the girls doing there? I'm like, okay, if you really, really must know, I said, I sponsor them in their sobriety. And he said, really? And I said, yes. And he said, well, how long have you been sober? Well, that long time. This happened in 2018. 2022. I've been coaching, but I haven't gone online coaching since 2020. And so all of a sudden, I was telling him, because now I'm 9 years sober, probably to say, he stopped, and we had an epiphany together, and he said, we are going to totally change this conversation 360 degrees. I'm not kidding, this really happened. And he said, and I knew exactly what he was going to say. He said, do you know how many women you could help? And that's all he had to say. And I became a sobriety coach.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah. And I still, I still sponsor, always will sponsor girls. Obviously never take money. But so if I do sponsor people in sobriety, they usually have to have 3 to 5 years of sobriety. I'm not here to sponsor them to get sober or anything like that. But usually a lot of them, like myself, had businesses, and it's new. We feel differently in sobriety. So sometimes it's a little scary to go out there and rebuild and restart. And that's what I do, help them with, to get restarted and relaunch and get back into what they were good at and successful at. And then, or try something new even. And then, and then I also work with women that just can't get over that 2 or 5K months consistently. And I get them to 10K plus months consistently.
Interesting.
So anyway, I became, it kind of, probably God probably guided me. Like I really wanted to stay in the sobriety arena, but it was hard because it was a lot of people that were not, well into sobriety. And then also the business part kept pulling me too, because I'm on LinkedIn. And I realized I could help a lot of women in both arenas. So it just kind of, put it together. And I do get a lot of referrals for business. Yeah.
May I would like to ask you a little bit personal question. You don't have to answer it, but I would love to see the reason why you stopped. What was the reason why you stopped drinking?
Do you really want to know? Yeah, because I drank for 35 years. It was a long time, right? And it was amazing how functional I was, how high performing I was. I was on fire. I was successful, but drinking went along the way. Plus, it kind of started when I was entertaining physicians. When I was in corporate for a while too. In between the assisted livings, I did some medical device sales, and it was cardiologist. So it's a lot of entertaining, a lot of fun, but it was more than that, of course. But after 35 years, it catches up with you. But if you really, really want to know, I was told I was going to have a liver transplant. And it wasn't the first time. It was the second time. And the first time was 3 years prior. I did quit drinking for 3 years, but then I went back for 5 years, which was the worst 5 years of my drinking career. But I...
drinking career.
It basically was, right? So, the funny thing, like, so the first time, of course, my liver regenerated once I quit. Of course, I went back to drinking, and it was more heavier that time. Wasn't having to work so much, that type of thing. So I had more free time, which was good, that. But of course, my liver, shut. It started cirrhosis and stuff. So the physicians, by law, they have to put you on a transplant list. And I told the physician, I am not going to have a transplant. He said, Corinne, you're so healthy otherwise. So I went to a homeopathic doctor. We did a whole lot of work, like for over a year. And I'm proudly to say, and this is I'm so grateful and blessed, because it's very, very rare that your liver regenerates 2 times. And it did. And I do not have a liver transplant. I'm 64 years old. I'm on 0 medications. And I'm very athletic and very active. And I love life. It's more simple today, which I love. And thank God that God took care of me, because I'm very healthy and proud to say that. Yeah, happy to say that, basically. So
that's awesome.
A lot. That's resilience, right?
Yeah. Well, you are amazing, because this has to take a lots of strength in you. You had to I know that is not totally really easy. Yeah, this is and especially if you do something like that for a pretty long time, I know like this is like exactly like why we have this type of shows and so on too. And I really appreciate your transparency and being open talking about it, because
Mhm.
I believe that this only just this conversation going to change so many people's lives.
So
Right, because like they can see that you are on, like you are not, like you are a human, and you can change, and
yeah,
you can do like everything
no matter
that is
what age
literally
you
in your
are,
power.
no matter what
Yeah.
age you are, I don't care
Yes.
what age you are. Hmm.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Because and you are into sports and so on. May I ask you like why,
I even ride my Harley.
why you even started, actually, if I may ask, like why you even started with drinking? Because you had like, you seems to
Oh, I
be
know.
really active, loving sport, loving life, being present, being doing crazy stuff, like when it comes to like adrenaline stuff, right? I love those two things too, and I can see it because like I have my brother, for example, and he's really like really good at playing football, and he's playing like high league football, and he is having his type of struggles when it comes to also drinking and so on, because this is the community of people that he
Yeah.
is in side of it. So was there something like that for you too, or like why you even started?
Start drinking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, I will tell you, like in my 20s, my best friend was 18 years older, and her and her husband, they did drink every night. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying my atmosphere that I was around, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did, and I often was at their house. They would, I mean, I was drinking Jack Daniels at 22. I shouldn't have been drinking,
Wow.
but
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they gave it to me. But again, obviously, I am an alcoholic. Obviously, I have the gene. I'm a recovered alcoholic, but I do have the gene, and I totally believe that it is a gene that gets passed through the families, because almost every family in America, for sure, has somebody with a problem with drinking in their family. Not just that, you'll see families and 4 or 5 people. I have a sponsee, one of 6 children. All 6 are in the program. So you can't tell me there's not, a gene, it's a disease, a gene that is passed along, because I totally know and feel it is. So yeah, and then and of course, when you are have a drinking issue, you can't get enough. You don't know when to stop. So it wasn't like I didn't start in the morning, but I might start at 5 o'clock, but I couldn't stop until,
Wow.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So instead of just stopping at one like everybody else, or maybe even two like everybody else, I would have three, four, five. So,
Right.
this wasn't every day. Of course, it got worsened through the years. But it was a shame, because I was a tournament water skier. I
Mm-hmm.
avid mountain biker rider. I do extreme sports. I was heavy into dirt bike riding. I still ride my Harley today, just Ritter Saturday all day. Love my Harley. Um, I play golf. I do all kinds of stuff, and I've always been involved. And of course, I work out too. It's been important to walk and work out, keep
What?
healthy.
Why is it the sports so matter to you? Why is it? Is it
Oh,
something that you?
it's just me. It really is. You wouldn't believe it, because I'm a very tomboy. I'm very tomboyish. I mean, I've had horses. I've had different horses different times in my life, and yeah, I'm very, very addicted to sports. Yeah, that's another thing. Sometimes when you do have an alcohol issue, you find that you are addictive. You have an addictive personality,
Right.
even if it's good stuff. If I find something,
Mm,
I'm right into it. I like everything about it. Get all the
yeah.
equipment for it. Yeah. So I do notice that about myself. But I love sports. I just always have. Big part of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
big big part of my life. Hmm.
I'm really big at sports too. I can't like going to gym all like every day. I've been doing like different type of, even like fighting sports. I don't know how to express it properly. But I've been doing fighting sport. I've been playing football. I've been like I'm doing like pretty much anything that I can do, like just to like I don't know. I just have to. I don't know if I'm hyperactive or whatever, but I love to be in like all the time doing something that actually. And then like I found when it comes to business, when I found like a business and really get obsessed about it, I can like really stop even like doing stuff because it's for me. It's like the hobby for me also. Like I'm doing it because I love doing it, and I cannot just stop. It's like one day that I'm not doing something is like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing. I'm not moving forward. I'm not performing. I feel that like no, you
I
know
know.
what I
uh,
mean.
Well, sometimes I find myself sitting up till 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm
Yeah,
working because everybody's
yeah.
sleeping. The dogs are all asleep. I have 3
That's
dogs.
the
They're all
best time, right?
best time, and I can just go, 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 go. But it's
Yeah.
the healthiest thing. I have a physician friend, and she saw me in the grocery store not long ago, and she said, "How's your coaching and stuff?" And I said, "I know, yeah, it's great. I even stay up till 2, 3 in the morning." And she said, "Stop right there." She said, "Stop right there." I said, "What? I'm excited. I'm going to tell you." She said, "No longer." She said, "Bed by 11." She said, "Do you know you're missing your most important, valuable sleep?" And it's still hard for me because I love staying up late at
Yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah. There are those advices that people should be sleeping at least 8 hours a day.
No, I never get that.
Nah, no, not a chance. Like I can sleep like between 5 to 6,
Yeah,
and if I sleep more than that, I feel like that the day sleeping away. I don't know why. Like I waking up just like because I'm like I have the routine basically because I love to going like at 6 in the morning when I wake up. I'm going to gym right in the morning because like for me it's like the best beginning because I put my heads on headphones on, listening Alex Hormozy, Jim Rohn, those type of people like motivational mindset stuff basically, or reading like listening books. Even in the gym,
that's right.
people are listening music and hey yeah, let's go. And then I'm there
You're
like
listening.
educating.
That's a good entrepreneur, honey. That's a great entrepreneur.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So crazy, right?
it is.
I don't know. I'm just weird.
Want to succeed. I think that's awesome, Adam. It just shows your passion for succeeding, and doing what you do. That's how you have to look at it because you're young. You've got so much time to really help others and do things. So when you're that passionate about your business, you can't get enough of it, and that's
No,
great to
true.
hear. Do that. It really is. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank
Yeah.
you for the beautiful words. It means a lot. I always like, the thing is that business it doesn't need to be a lonely game, but most of the people are having like lonely game. But this is why like I love to connect with people like you and talking about like their life, what we do, how we are different. Everybody's somehow special, and like this is it's just amazing to connect and share ideas and see what works for others and how they went through. So yeah, I'm like it's just so fulfilling. And uh you know let's dive now a little bit into. I would love to go into your into the Christianity, if I or the higher power for you. Have you been always believing in some type of higher power since you've been, born, like since young age? Or have you found the way towards it all along, like when you've been growing up?
Well, I've always believed in God.
Uh-huh.
I was. My parents were Christians. We were taught to believe in God.
Right.
We did prayer for dinners and stuff like that. My parents were not religious people. They came from the Church of England, so we were Episcopalians here.
Hmm.
But we were one of those families that holiday families, show up at Easter, Christmas, that type of thing. But later in life, my mom used to go a lot. But we were always, the values and that was taught to us that which you would learn in church. But still, I truly didn't find my faith properly until I became sober in 20
Wow.
in 27.
Hmm. Hmm.
I always believed in God. And I knew that when I did go to church sometimes, I loved it. I actually loved it. And walked out and I said, you know, we should do this more often. I really feel good, you know? But of course, we never went back because we were partying. You know, our house was like a revolving door, okay, on the water. So, so of course, you couldn't get up and go to church, you know? But anyway, but since my sobriety, wow, has it changed? And you know, I didn't realize things I was praying for before was terrible. You know, it was all about, it was selfish and it was all about myself and that type of thing. It made me feel better, it made me do this, you know, I promise I won't drink again, you know, that type of thing. But now it's a different story. I mean, he's like my best friend, you know, I talk to him during the day, and but it continues to grow, which I love, like all the time. My faith, what I learn, you know, but I guess that's me too, because I'm always my audiobooks, my YouTubes and that type of thing. I listen to a lot of that stuff, but well, I listen to a lot of law of attraction stuff too. I mean, you know, all kinds of things. But every yeah, it's totally it definitely started in 2017 when I got sober. But what I'm just saying is I don't want to be complacent with it. So I just am constantly trying to learn more and help more and serve more, like I feel like I should do. So it's beautiful that I'm. That's one thing that you know, I don't. You can always, you know, like I'm almost thankful that I was an alcoholic because I would never have found this.
That's yeah, that's really
You know
really
what?
cool to see. Yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand really
Yeah,
well.
my life now, I would never have had this.
Hmm.
And I mean, I've got goosebumps because it's so special when you have a really
Yes,
strong faith and a really good
yes,
relationship with your higher power. It really makes a
yes.
difference in life. If you're down, if you're upset, if you're happy, I mean, it doesn't matter. It helps to pray. Hmm.
Have you or how it to get closer to God basically and that since the sober happened? How did that change your life actually? Like, do you pray? Do you study more? Like, do you like, or do you listen to him, what he's trying to say? Or like how, this is really like, I know that you have like, you still developing this, the whole area. I'm not like, I'm pretty much the same on the same spot. I'm not really like, I, I love to study about it. That's why I'm asking this type of questions because like God for me is like a big, like it's a huge topic because and especially with the things that we've been taught from like since our basically young age with evolutions and this type of things because in Bible there is literally completely different story about evolution, human evolution and so on. So I'm just really curious like how did you know getting finding a way to God actually change your life and how it affected.
I mean, because I was always a good person, you know, it wasn't like, you know, but, you know, I think it just brought me down. Like I had, you know, my ego and all that stuff. It made me be a more realistic, if you would, if I had to say anything, because I'm not real sure. Like I just, it does, I can't really say how it changed my life, but I think, besides wanting to serve more is for sure. But I think it's just, it's made me come back to really be realistic and authentic and, um, yeah, and to help more. I think if anything, that's it.
Love it.
It
Yeah.
made me okay to tell my story. This is not the first time I told my story.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared to death when the first time I told my story. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, with that faith, I would never have done that on my
Mm.
without faith.
Why have you been scared to share your
Well,
story?
you're very vulnerable, you know, and you know, there's a lot of people that didn't know that about me. Okay, you also can hide it. You know, I did a lot of drinking at home, so you know, after I got, you know, whatever, you know, even if you have a couple glasses of wine at dinner, they don't see what you do afterwards. You know, so a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people
Mm.
didn't even realize that I was. So you know, you have to face that too. But I did it to
Mm-hmm.
help other women. It's the only reason I did it.
Yeah, this is powerful. When you think about it, and exactly what you said, if if you haven't gone through this, you would probably never be able to help those many women's,
I wouldn't even
and so
thought,
on.
I would not have
Yeah,
even thought about it, to be honest.
right.
And again, that's why I am thankful because yeah, I mean, even though I could have, even with business, I could have been a business coach with or without, right? But I would never even thought about being a business coach. I don't think I would have. I don't know. But it did make me take a different path. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I got in a
You
bad
know,
motorcycle too, right after I decided. And this is when I knew too. I was in a really bad, so we'd ridden up to North Carolina. We were on our bikes. And I had a passenger, and this guy, it was a Sunday, and we were going around the curve in North Carolina. And I was leading, and this motorcycle was in my lane coming my way. I had
mhm.
a split of a second to get the bike just a little. I've been riding 45 years. Yeah, a little experience, did not have the head on, but I pulled his bike just enough to where he hit us on the side, sent us spinning. I was out for a minute. I literally, you know, crushed
Wow.
crushed both my wrists, and my friend it hit her. She messed up her muscle in her leg a little bit, but we were alive, and so were the other two people. And so when I went into the ER, it took a long time. First of all, I couldn't see for 2 hours. I was literally like, and they so it took an hour there, and then for the ambulance to get there, and it took over an hour to get to the hospital. And when I rolled in the hospital, this is when you realize the physician looked out at me and she said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Nobody makes it this far off of it." She said, "I don't normally get to see the motorcyclist alive."
Mhm.
And I looked up and I said, "Okay, God." Because that was in November of 26. I mean, I'm sorry, November of 23. And I took a proper coaching program certification. And I was entering in January 24. And I just wanted to do it. I mean, I've been coaching before. I mean, I've been coaching, but I just wanted to do it. And I looked up and I said, "You want me to be here. You want me to help
Mhm.
women, and you want me to coach and help women. I'm in." That's it. So, yeah. And it was really bad.
This
It was
is
$25,000 worth of damage to my bike.
wow. Well, this type of things that are happening, it's really interesting, like how big of a influence it can have inside, like in your life towards what you're going to be doing next or so on, right? And I also love like when you said basically, and you basically approve of the concept that you basically becoming uh the person that you spend the average of the people that you spend time with,
Yeah.
right? Because this is like, and there is a lot of those, you know,
You have,
examples.
you do have to
Yeah,
change some friendships. Okay.
yeah.
You do have to change. I actually went through a divorce. I had to go through a divorce.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you went through so lot
Oh, yeah.
actually in your life.
I went through
Wow.
what, because I had to walk away from it all. I just did. And so my good friends, like my best friends, of course, they weren't a part of all that anyway.
Hmm.
So you do have to cut some people off. You just do, because
Right.
they look at you differently anyway. So, but they're going to still be in that
Yeah.
the true stuff. So I can't be around it. I don't want to be around it. I literally don't
Mm.
want to be around it. I can walk in a bar, I can sit at a bar. It does not bother me. I have no obsession over alcohol. None. I don't even want it. Thank God. Right? Thank God.
This is awesome. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
But it's
You
a
did
day
a
to day. I will
lot.
say
Yeah.
this though, it's one day at a time. Don't think that I will never let my guard down to where I'm not
Yeah.
that silly that I don't think that I could. Okay. So that's also why I keep my faith so strong as well.
You had probably kids, right?
I don't have any children.
You don't have any children?
No. Mm.
Wow. Interesting. Would you change that?
I was so busy tournament water skiing and traveling and that, and I was getting up to, I was just, that was my first divorce in my early 30s. So it's just like something that just never happened. It's okay.
Hmm.
I have tons of nephews and they have tons of children. So I'm around all them.
Would you um Would you change that actually?
There's times I thought about changing that because
Have you been have you been
actually
thinking
very
about
good.
it?
Actually, very good because kids love me, you know. So,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but I'm also fun. So maybe I wouldn't be so fun as a mother, you know. So I don't know. It crosses my mind. It has crossed my mind, of course. Especially the older I'm getting, I'm thinking, wow, it would have been nice, you know, to have kids. But it hasn't something that I've missed on a regular basis at all. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've
Very
had I've had a
interesting.
great life. I can't
You
complain.
are the first person actually, like, that like doesn't basically have a case, because from pretty much everyone I had on my show, usually people like, and they are really like, even my coaches and so on that I like where or network that I like, people are really young and they are having kids already and so on. It's really
No way,
interesting
no
because
way.
like I don't have kids yet also, and I'm 29, right? This year 30. I've
Yeah,
been thinking like, about it also, like already a couple of times, like when, if I would be bringing kids on in this earth, when that would happen, and like, because I want to be my passion is the business so much that like I'm spending so much time building this, and succeeding with this. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's
you'll know,
very interesting.
you'll know.
Go ahead.
You'll know. It's just not fit into my life. You know, like again,
Mm,
I've had a wonderful life. I can't. I mean, there's so much more to tell you. I mean, there's so much more.
yes.
You know that I don't regret that because I've had
Hmm.
life that other people can't have because of children. I've had every toy you can ever imagine. You know what I mean? I love toys, so I've had motorcycles and boats and all kinds of stuff that I would not be able to have if I had children. So
Mm,
and one of my nephews is deciding not to have children. They don't. It's more common now than it was when I was growing up, but it just never fit. So
mm, mhm.
yeah, and I'm okay with that. It wasn't meant to be. Is how I have to look at it. Because even my best friend, when I divorced the first time, um, I was in my early 30s. She said, "At least get pregnant first." I said, "Why would I get pregnant by him?" I said, "I'm divorcing him. My luck, it'll be just like him."
Yeah.
No, I would not do that. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just again, it's a time. It's most people. Yeah, it is what it is.
Right,
I'm
right.
I'm good with
So
it. Let's put it that way. I know my nephews will take care of me. That's the good thing.
love it, love it. Yeah. So just a couple of more questions before we wrap up. What is your favorite sport that you like love the most? What is the thing that you are fulfilling you when it comes to sports?
Like in my own life or
Hmm.
TV, because I like different sports on TV than what I do. Well, it's definitely I love working out. I have
Uh-huh.
like three little I have my own stuff since COVID. I built my own gym. But we
Interesting.
lost that house. I mean, we sold that house. We actually lost our house in Hurricane Milton. It was demolished. And
Wow.
that was in October of 24. And that was after
Wow.
social media. In August of 24, I lost all my social media, 110,000 followers, 80
Hmm.
accounts,
Hmm.
2 e-commerce businesses. And then October, we lost our home completely demolished.
Right.
And then we were on Apollo Beach. And then so we went to Costa Rica for the month of December, and I did a 27 day gratitude trip through Costa Rica, and I came back and relaunched my new business in January of 25.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Very cool. Okay. If like for
that's why I could
This is
walk across
interesting.
the
This is interesting. I haven't expected this actually, because like, when you start, okay, we lost this, and then like I had, I like
I just,
literally you get a trip around, and then like you basically on that trip, like some idea came out that you started the business, or it was like more like,
well,
something
I
that you've been
lost
already planning.
well,
Yeah,
'cause
go
I
ahead.
lost my sobriety coaching business because
Uh-huh.
I lost everything. It was,
Wow.
overnight. You know how a lot of people know how when they use social
Yeah.
media, it's blocked the next day, and there was
Right.
getting my 8 accounts back, and I had 2 businesses and my real
Crazy.
page and everything. My golden doodle, she had more followers than anybody. But so when I went to Costa Rica, I came back with a lot of clarity of where I was to go next. And
Mm.
it was not to have multi things on social media and have just coaching. And that
Hmm.
started off as a resilience business coach.
Very cool. Love it. Well, thank you so much. It
Thank you,
was
Adam.
pleasure to have
You.
you. It was amazing conversation. I like you are amazing person.
Thank you so much.
Um, few rapid fire questions just to end this conversation. So I have three questions for you. First one that I usually ask everybody on the show. So first one is, what would be the one book that you would recommend to read anybody on your topic, or something that would change like their mindset?
It's the new one from oh my gosh, you would have to ask me that. Mel Robbins has that new book.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yep.
almost finished it. It's me. What is it?
I haven't read it, so I'm
It's
not sure, but
she has
uh-huh.
her latest book, Mel Robbins, her latest book. Phenomenal.
Latest book. I can research
I
it. Let
totally
me see.
just I can't believe I can't. It's
Mel Robbins.
in the top of my head.
Robbins latest.
It's phenomenal. I just am almost finished with it.
Is the let them
Let me.
theory?
That's
Oh, okay.
it's let them, right?
Yeah, the let them theory.
That's it. That's it. Phenomenal, phenomenal book.
Interesting. Okay. All right. The second question is, if you could delete one piece of advice from the internet that is completely BS, what would that be?
Repeat that, please.
If you would be able to delete one piece of advice from the internet that doesn't serve people at all and is like completely like nonsense, what would that be?
Wow, from the internet.
From the internet, or what people are thinking that doesn't serve them at all?
Well, one thing is, well, for coaching, like so many people have so many platforms that they're wasting their money. Um, you really have to narrow down your business system so it saves you time, money, and frustration.
Love
But
it. Okay.
yeah,
Cool. Yeah. And then the last question would be, if this would be your last interview you would ever done, what would be the message that you would love to leave behind you?
I would say live your life to the fullest. Don't hold back. It's okay to say no, and it's okay to have your boundaries. Set your boundaries and just go for it.
Awesome. So from there, what is your goal? Where are you heading, like in your life right now, and like with your, with your business, so people can like where people can find you and like join you on the journey?
Well, they can join me now. They can join me now at I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I have a I just do my reels on Instagram. It's really Facebook and but again, I'm starting my Facebook all over. So I explore coach.com is my website. So I'm really just growing. I've also started a business with legal subscription plans too, which is going to help a lot of people. So I want to see that grow. But as I grow, I want to help other women grow with me.
Love it. And in your personal life, where you are heading right now, like what is the goal for you?
We're going to rebuild. I don't know where yet, but it's always exciting to rebuild and restart. But yeah, I right now my personal life is beautiful, it's peaceful, it's calm, and it's loving. So I'm very happy.
That's love it. Yeah, love it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you again for
Thank
being
you,
here.
Adam, for everything. Yes.
It was a great chat, and for everybody who's listening, we will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.